Hello everyone, welcome back to 30 by 30, my blog where I do 30 things before I turn 30 years old. In today's episode, we are going to Chicago and we are taking a little photo adventure. So Justin and I started photo adventures back in December when he got a DSLR camera. And we just started going places all over Indianapolis, and we started downtown with the big tree, the Circle of Lights, and took some photos there and just fell in love with going out together to take photos. It's a great date idea. What we would do is once we got done with our photo adventure, we would come home, upload the photos in Lightroom, edit them, and then we both actually created photography Instagrams and we would upload some of our photos to there. J Rice photo, A Rice photo. So for Justin's birthday, we took a trip to Chicago this year, and on the second day, we went out that morning and took photos. So that's what you're going to see us doing today. It was a lot of fun. We stayed at a hotel downtown really close to, pretty sure it's Wacker, and it's right there by the river. So we walked from the hotel to the Starbucks Roastery, and you'll see that is where we're heading now. We did go here March 2021, so this is also during the pandemic, and while COVID, there is now a vaccine and cases are on the decline, there's still a lot of things that are not open, fully open. Definitely still have to wear a mask. And when we went to the roastery, they actually, the way it worked is it was open, and you could walk around. There's 4 or 5 floors. Oh, yep, here we are. So this is it. We're gonna go inside now. And those two ladies, that's what they were explaining. They were explaining that there are, I'm pretty sure there's 5 floors, maybe 4 or 5. There's a rooftop that you couldn't go to, but everywhere else you could. You just had to keep your mask on, and if you were going to buy anything to eat or to drink, you would have to buy that and then take that outside to eat. So that was their way of keeping everyone nice and safe. You'll see here, I actually wore a GoPro on my chest while we kind of went on this adventure, so I could record footage of it's just a time lapse of us going around and taking photos. And then my idea, which you'll see here soon, and you may have already seen some images, but I wanted to take the GoPro footage and overlay some of the pictures that I took. So you can see the before and then the after. And it's crazy because what you see in person or like through a GoPro screen, which I know this is on my chest, so sometimes when I'm looking up, you can't really see what's looking up or down, vice versa. But it's just so crazy that a lot of things the human eye misses, or like when you're looking at it through a lens, you can just, you getting creative and seeing things in a different light is super fun, and then taking that and kind of being creative and just seeing what you can do with it. There was a shot like on the escalator where it was super it was like the lighting was just kind of weird, and I think people were coming up, and it didn't, in my opinion, I didn't like it at first, but then I put black and white edit on it, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. So I think that will come up here soon. There are actually 6 Starbucks roasteries in the world. So this one, obviously in Chicago, you'll see the walls that had like the really colorful, I think they were coffee labels. It kind of talked a little bit more about each roastery. So in Chicago, this one is here on Magnificent Mile. We had never heard of a Starbucks roastery until we booked our trip to Chicago and we were looking at things to do, and this was really close nearby. The other 2 U.S. roastery locations, one is in New York City, the other is in Seattle. And when you hear Seattle, think Starbucks. Not only is that where the very first Starbucks roastery opened, but that is actually where the very first ever Starbucks coffee shop also opened. If you are ever near Pike Place Market, right down the road is the very first coffee shop. So while you're in Seattle, you can check that out. I actually tried to go to that location before, but it was a little crowded. I am sure it's worth the wait though. And for all my international travelers, if you're traveling overseas, you can find a Starbucks roastery in Tokyo, in Shanghai, or in Milan. Now, what you're about to see and what you've seen kind of throughout the video right here, this is what they call the cask. So C-A-S-K. And that is what transports coffee beans from the first floor throughout the entire space. So it's really cool to watch. It was definitely a neat thing to take pictures of. So, fun fact, this Starbucks roastery also doubles as the world's largest Starbucks. So, if you ever want bragging rights and to say like, hey, I've been to the world's largest Starbucks, totally hit up the roastery in Chicago. It was really cool when we went, but I feel like you'll have an even more magnificent time as things begin to open up and you can enjoy your beverages inside the store. At the end of our little trip, we decided to actually get some coffee to go, and I'm trying to remember what we got. I think we just got cold brew. I wanted to try one of the coffees, but so every level at the roastery, they had different things. So I'm pretty sure I wanted to try like the Costa Rica coffee, or it was a coffee that they had on a different level. And like I said, every level was something different. So the first floor was the reserve coffee bar. They had coffee, pastries, roasted coffee beans, and then they had like a little gift shop. The second floor was the bakery and cafe. So on that level, they had pastries. You could have pizza, salad, pasta, dessert. Third level was the experiential coffee bar, where they had coffee flights, brewing experiences, coffee creations, and nitrogen-infused gelato. The fourth floor was the cocktail bar. So there they had barrel-aged coffee beverages, cocktails, and they have a gift shop on there too. The last floor, which I'm pretty sure was closed, was floor 5, the rooftop terrace, and that's where you can kind of see Michigan Avenue from the top. But yeah, that was our experience at the coffee shop. You can see we were kind of waiting in line to get our coffee, and I snapped a couple photos of the lady making it before we picked it up. Here we go. I'm like, okay, she's just about done. Yeah, I think we got nitrogen cold brew. You definitely pay a lot more money for your Starbucks drink, which I know it's already a little bit crazy as it is for coffee, but you're definitely paying for the experience, and they had some like really nice fancy cups. So anyways, we ended our little photo adventure to the roastery with our coffee, and then we headed out and we took more photos around the city.